All right. Good evening, everyone. So it's been a minute, hadn't it? If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure that you click the thumbs up or whatnot. I guess that's supposed to help. I don't know. Whatever. Irish, say hello.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
So Irish is using his phone. So if his audio's too low, let me know and I can adjust the volume as we go. What's up, Mad Dog? Hello from work. Hello, Hero. Hello, Mel. Good to see you. TM Lens. Hey, all. Sick and in bed. Not sure how interactive I'll be or how long I'll make it. Hey, so TM Lens, real quick. You know, I was telling Irish, I have been sicker since October up until now than I have, I think, in my entire life. And I was telling him that, and this is something I want to know for you guys out there because I hope it's not specific to me because if it is, it's awful. It's like my body says, hey, tomorrow's your day off. You're not going to feel good. You're going to be sick. And it's only going to last for like a day. And then when you wake up in the morning and you know you have to go to work, you're going to feel okay. Because I've got something that I woke up with this morning. And for those of you who haven't followed or don't know, I wound up with strep throat in December, got through it with antibiotics and whatnot, wound up with this mystery flu thing. And just to touch on that just a second, my hero had talked to our pharmacist and found out that there were a lot of people that were sick. They were going to the hospital. They were testing for COVID and the flu and RSV and whatnot, and they were negative for everything. And they were getting pneumonia and stuff. So there is some weird unknown thing out there. So there's that. And then, so I get this mystery flu thing, and then I'm okay for a few days. And I wake up this morning and I get this cough, and I'm like, I'm not running a fever, but I feel awful. And it's like if you're in tune with your body, the cough is one of those like, oh, you're sick, and it's just awful. So I don't know if TM Lynn's your day off too started feeling it lay around at dinner. Yeah, exactly. And that's how stuff's worked with me. It's like, oh, you're off work. Well, we can't hamper your productivity, so what we're going to do is you're going to be sick the entire day that you're off, and after that, you'll be fine. So that's kind of where I'm at. Mad Dog, same. Haven't felt great since Thanksgiving. Yeah, TM Lynn, I'm still masking. I've actually been healthier than I've been in years overall. I have been sicker than I have been in years overall. And I hate it. And full disclosure, I'm an absolute bitch. When I'm sick, I get mad. I'm irritable. I feel sorry for my family. I feel sorry for the people I work with because I'm not easy to get along with when I don't feel good. I'm just not. And Hero, she could pop in the chat and be like, yep, that's true. So, having said that, it's been a minute, everybody. I hope everybody had a good holiday. Hope everybody had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. And here we are. It's 2024. If you've noticed, there's a little bit different look to what we're doing. New year, new us. So there's been some things that I've changed. If you look down at the bottom right hand, you see that we're sponsored by the Serving Times. The link to the Serving Times is in the description. I felt like we're at this point now where, Blame Tag should be right here front and center. I mean, he's been extremely supportive of the channel and what we do. And so I want to continue that. But having said that, Irish, how was your holidays?
Pretty peaceful in the sense that it was nice and quiet. I was off work for almost 2 weeks, and it was just nice to have that break. I suppose I didn't get the uh, it's just nice to be out of the grocery retail for Christmas because you don't get called in the day after you know uh Christmas or New Year's and stuff like that. It was nice. It was a nice break.
Well, that's good. That's good. So you and your family are well. Everything's cool.
Yeah, yeah, we're all good, all good.
Awesome. All right. So Originally, I thought that our first episode for 2024 was going to be about LinkedIn. It's not, obviously. Um, However, that is coming. That will be the next one. But, you know, we've touched on this a little bit, talking, the past few months or whatnot. And I think this is a topic that we need to discuss. And the reason being is when we get through all the information I show you, um, we'll have a better understanding as to why this is important. Okay. I just want everybody to know, starting out, that your productivity and your performance is going to matter going forward. I know a lot of us hate the business that we're in, or we're uncomfortable in the business that we're in because it's low wage, or we just understand how being customer facing and whatnot is terrible at some times. That's not going to change, okay? These things are going to continue. And the key to all this is to understand what's coming, okay? So I spent a lot of time today getting everything together. And what we're going to do is we're going to. Hero says, everyone get their teacups ready for the rabbit hole. Yes. Yes. So I put some stuff together today, obviously. And I've had this stuff, front of mind for a while, to kind of go through where we're at and what we're doing. So the first slide you're going to see are headlines. And there's, if I'm not mistaken, there's only one in there that predates December. All the links to the headlines are in the description of the video. I implore you all to go read them. This is stuff that's got, since December. I mean, we're in January. This stuff is fresh, and it gives you an idea of where we're going. So, having said that, let's get started. So, these are headlines that have come out since December, with the exception of one. And I think I remember which one it is, and when we get there, I'll tell you. Generative artificial intelligence will lead to job cuts this year, CEOs say. Impact of cutting-edge AI tools on work and society set to dominate discussions at the World Economic Forum in Davos, which is going on right now. Many layoffs already announced in 2024. Why? AI. That's why. The white-collar class derided mass layoffs among the blue-collar workers. It's about to fill their pay. The tech sector is pouring billions of dollars into AI, but it keeps laying off humans. This was a big one, too. Duolingo cuts workers as it relies more on AI. Former contract workers at the language app say they were cut as the company uses more AI tools to create lessons. Google to let go of 30,000 employees due to new AI innovation. Here's what the report suggests. And then another Google. Google lays off hundreds more as ad division switches to AI-powered sales. Googlers are now building AI tools so other Googlers can be laid off. Next headline, Unhappy New Year. 2024 opens with wave of layoffs in tech, and AI could be making it worse. And this was another travesty. Voice actors decry AI at Comic-Con panel with SAG-AFTRA's Duncan Crabtree, Ireland. We've lost control over what our voice could say. That one was earlier last year. And then on January 9th, SAG-AFTRA signs deal with VoiceOver Studio for AI use in video games. And then the final one is AI will affect 40% of jobs and probably worsen inequality, says the IMF head. Crucial that countries build social safety nets to mitigate impact on workers, says Kristalina Georgieva. I'm sure I botched your name, but that is what it is. So we got that. Now, this is from Business Insider. And like I said, the links to this stuff are in the description. Please check them out. So, ChatGPT may be coming for our jobs. Here are the 10 roles that AI is most likely to replace. Tech jobs, which includes coders, computer programmers, software engineers, and data analysts. Media jobs, that's advertising, content creation, technical writing, and journalism. Legal industry jobs, paralegals, legal assistants. Market research analysts, teachers who aren't paid shit anyway, traders, accountants, and graphic designers. Finance jobs, financial analysts, personal financial advisors, and customer service agents. Now, let me be real clear here on the customer service agent thing, since we're all in retail and we do this kind of stuff. That's like your chat bot online. You know, you go to your cable company, you go to a travel agency, you go to wherever, and you do, customer chat. That's what it's talking about. So that's not us, unfortunately, or fortunately, as you will find out here shortly. And then, out of all the links that I've posted, I think this is the one that everybody needs to go look at the most. This is from the Pew Research Center. Now, if you go to this link in the description, you're looking at like 11 or 12 pages worth of information. They've done the work. I mean, it doesn't get any more, down to the level than this. So, which U.S. workers are more exposed to AI on their jobs? Okay, well, jobs with a high level of exposure to AI. This is important for everybody to know. The jobs tend to be in higher paying fields where a college education and analytical skills can be a plus. One more time, jobs with a high level of exposure to AI tend to be in higher paying fields where our college education and analytical skills can be a plus. So for those of us in retail, for any amount of time, that should make perfect sense. Profits over people. So these are high dollar jobs, right? So certain groups of workers have higher levels of exposure to AI. Those with more education. Workers with a bachelor's degree or more, 27%, are more than twice as likely as those with a high school diploma, only 12% to see the most exposure. Women. A greater share of women, 21%, than men, 17%, are likely to see the most exposure to AI. This is because of differences in the types of jobs held by men and women. Asian and white. Asian, 24%, and white, 20% workers are more exposed than black, 15%, and Hispanic, and 13% workers. Higher wage workers. In 2022, workers in the most exposed jobs earned $33 per hour on average, compared to with $20 in jobs with the least amount of exposure. So wrap your head around that a minute, okay? And then I've got a couple of charts here. What shares of workers are most exposed to AI on their jobs? All workers overall is 19%. Men, 17%. Women, 21%. White, 20%. Black, 15%. Hispanic, 13%. Asian, 24%. American Indian or Pacific Islander, 16%. Other, 18%. All right, so less than high school, 3% effect. High school graduate, 12%. Some college, 19%. Bachelor's degree or higher, 27%. So jobs in the U.S. that are likely to have high, medium, or low exposure to AI. High exposure, budget analysts, data entry keyers, tax preparers, technical writers, web developers. Medium exposure, chief executives, veterinarians, interior designers, fundraisers, sales managers. Low exposures, barbers, childcare workers, dishwashers, firefighters, and pipe layers. So that's kind of where we sit with that, right? So let's take the chat here real quick. It's been a minute. Let's see. let's see. TM Lynn, just call out on the radio that there are go backs, okay? TM Lynn, CEO really should be on that list. Oh, but it's not. Not yet, anyway. A Hero says customer service agents, more folks will be just spamming the O button, the zero button for human. And then Hero also said jobs they don't want to pay a person money to do. So here's the key to this, all right? It's a lot of industries. Now, before we get further into the discussion, it does also cross over into like entertainment and music. And it's easily accessible. All right, so for those of you who are unaware, I'm a musician. I play guitar, I can play bass, I can play a little bit of keys or whatnot. I can write songs. I'm not great at it, but I can do it, okay? However, we're at a point now from the entertainment industry that AI can replace that too. And I have examples. So there's a link to the website in the description of the video. I don't know how to say it. I don't know if it's Sun-O or Suno. But just to give you a preface, each one of these pieces of music you're about to hear, all that was done was I put into a queue punk song talking about how working in retail sucks, or punk song talking about how self-checkout sucks, or reggae song talking about wanting to talk to the manager. Each one of these things you're about to hear were spat out in less than 5 minutes. And they are 110% AI generated. There's not a real musician here. There's not a real singer. There's not a real lyricist. Just by the prompts I gave it, this is what we get. So here is song number 1. Enjoy. I'm stuck in the checkout line. Oh, what a drag. Sick of customers and their constant nag. I'm fed up with this retail game. Walking in retail's all the same. Can't speak to your manager. I need to return this right now. Just trying to make a living. Can't you see walking in retail's killing me? Okay, there's song number 1. Oh, but wait. With me, there's always more, right? Here's song number 2.
9 to 5, a life so bland. Feeling stuck in retail land. Minimum wage and endless aisles. Lost my sanity, lost my smiles. Retail rage, it's driving me insane. Stuck in just misery, nothing to gain. I'm fed up, I'm done, I've had my fill. Retail blues, this job can go to hell.
But wait, there's more. This song I did, there were 2 songs that I added later. One of these is about self-checkout, and the last one is a metal song about talking about speaking to the manager. So I did these like literally an hour ago, just for more reference. So here is the self-checkout song. Enjoy, blame tag, when you hear this.
Walk into the store, just wanna buy some snacks. All I see are machines, a bunch of robotic hacks. They're taking jobs away, don't need no human touch. Self-checkout lines are that enough. No scanners here, no self-checkout machines. I wanna catch
Is self-checkout one not working? It is on the fear.
No scanners here, no tech that takes away our jobs. Bring back the humans instead to scan and stop. Walk into the store, just wanna buy some snacks. All I see are machines, a bunch of robotic
Nope, that's not playing. This is
taking
unfortunate.
jobs away.
Another one. This is the metal song about speaking to the manager. Didn't play either. Hold on. Give me just a second here.
Into the store.
Here we go.
Buy some snacks. All I see are machines. A bunch of robotic cats. They're taking jobs away. Don't need no human touch. Self-checkout lines are that enough. No scanners here. No self-checkout machines. I want a cashier, someone who knows what customer service means. No scanners here, no tech that takes away our jobs. Bring back the humans, instruments you can scan and solve. Walk into the
Okay, now let's see if we can get the speak to the manager song.
fire my feet within my soul. I'm feeling ready to explode. Tired of the silence, tired of this game. I want to speak my mind and save my brain. Let me speak to the manager, unleash my wrath. I won't back down, won't take a step back. This is my moment, my voice is loud. I won't be silenced, I'll make it right.
Okay, so there was no human involved in any of that other than typing in a prompt. And that's where we're at right now. Before I go into the rabbit hole, Irish, do you have anything to add?
Only that I think out of all the many topics that you've discussed on the war zone, I think this one is one of the darkest ones, and one of the, like it all. I don't find any of this funny. It's this is not going to end well. I don't know how it's going to end, but
No,
like,
it's not.
you know,
And
it's
that's the
just
point.
this is fucking Skynet stuff. Like,
So what did you think about the songs, Irish?
well, on a lighter note, I think it's better than half the shit that's on the radio.
Yeah,
But
that's important to know. Continue.
yeah, look, I mean, it's there is a formula there, even for the human shit that's on. There's a there's a certain kind of I don't know, rhythm that shit music generates, and it all blends into the void. But AI has kind of used that database quite well. I mean, it does mimic very, very well, like, shit music.
I mean,
Um,
I'll be honest with you. There was one of the first songs I played was like a punk song.
mm,
When I heard it, I'm like, damn it, why couldn't I have come up with that? All right, like for real. I
yeah,
mean, I've been playing guitar since I was 13. I'm 53 years old. Okay, so I've been playing a long time. I've played in bands. I've done a lot of stuff, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Because every one of these songs that I posted up here tonight were generated in less than 5 minutes, and that's where we're at. Okay,
yeah, like that
so
level of productivity is just insane. Like, there's no musician in the world could do that.
right. Hybrid says been doing inventory 12 hours because my manager is a cunt. Be back next week. I hope you can finish your inventory without your 12-foot ladder. Good luck. That's an inside thing from Twitter. He knows what I'm talking about. So, and to your response about things being dark, it is. And here's why. Everybody can see everything that I've posted, and they're probably like, okay, well, what does this have to do with retail? What does this have to do with the grocery business? What does this have to do with, like, working in a restaurant? The one thing I want to go back and look at real quick is if you go back and you look at this slide right here, jobs with a high level of exposure to AI tend to be in higher paying fields where a college education and analytical skills can be a plus. That's important to note. So, I'm 53 years old. I don't know how many of you watch us or listen to us that are around my age, okay? However, when I was growing up, we had guidance counselors in school and things like that. And you'd have discussions about your career development. Where do you want to go? What kind of things do you want to do? Well, it was always tech. That's where you're going to make your money. Journalism, finance. And all of a sudden now you look and you see, and these jobs that you have been groomed to think were your way to have a good living and a comfortable life are now obsolete, which also means your return on investment from college degrees is null and void, because those same jobs that we were told that the fields we needed to get into are now being replaced by a one-time fee for whatever company to decide to employ AI and eliminate the workforce. And it's the classic, profit over people. If you got a computer that you do a one-time cost on, one-time charge. It doesn't matter what the dollar amount is, because they've got bean counters there figuring out payroll and things like that. But if you can invest in a machine one time, and it's not a recurring charge, to replace thousands of people, guess what? The people owning the company are going to jump all over that. Because if you look down below, employees are more than controllable expense. And they are. But in the fields where AI is going to take hold, you are definitely a controllable expense, and you are expendable. And they're going to send you off into the wilderness because you got a machine to do your job. Now, you may be asking me, Steve, well, what does this have to do with retail? Well, let me tell you why it's a problem. We haven't thought about this a lot. I mean, I've touched on it a few times, but haven't went in depth. So when you look at the scope of the jobs that could be replaced, teachers, financial analysts, coders, all these different high-tech jobs, hey, we don't live in a world where you get shit for free. You have to work to make a living. You have to work to pay your bills. Nobody's paying it for you, right? So you're going to have a whole bunch of high-profile, high-salary people losing their jobs. And they can't, in most cases, sidestep and go to a different company, because that, company B is doing exactly what company A is, and they're using AI to replace people. Hence, payroll gone. Hey, more profit for the CEOs, more profit for the shareholders. Fuck you people. We don't care what you do. Not our problem anymore. So it's interesting that, we do this podcast at a period of time where, excuse me, sickness, where we talk about working in retail. We talk about working in customer service. We talk about working in the restaurant business. We talk about, the manual labor things and how we're not paid enough and all those different things, okay? And it's all valid. But guess what? The job market is going to get flooded. So if all these jobs get eliminated, your college degree doesn't matter because a computer has replaced your job. You got to work. You got to live. What jobs are there? And ladies and gentlemen, they're the jobs we're in right now. So my warning to everyone is your performance matters. Okay? The job you do matters. It doesn't matter if you hate the industry. It doesn't matter if you think it's cutthroat. It doesn't matter if you think it sucks. But all these people who are going to be losing their jobs are going to have to work somewhere. And this job that so much of us have hated for so long, but it's all we know how to do. Our jobs are going to become the ones that people want. And I'm trying to prepare you now. I'm trying to let you know that your performance from here on out matters. You need to be the best at what you do. You need to, do whatever it is you can to elevate yourself. Because when you have tens of thousands of jobs in a career field getting eliminated, here's the backpedal problem. All of a sudden, retail, grocery, customer service, restaurants become desirable jobs because people need to work. And when you have thousands and thousands of people in that job pool, guess what that does? That stagnates your wages. They don't have to pay top dollar anymore because there's so many people who need a job. They can get somebody in at bottom dollar. So it's important for each and every one of you, until you find an escape out of the business that you're in, to perform at the highest level you can, because your replacements are coming, and your replacements are coming cheap. Irish, your thoughts?
Oh, I have a few thoughts. I'm just trying to like. There isn't really a, a there isn't a comparison like to where like this has happened before. Like there's no equivalent. Like this is going to be a fundamental shift in uh how everything operates in the world. And usually when we have these leaps, it was progress. Like we went from we went to the assembly line, but like that made cars cheaper, for example, or it gave more when it raised the wages for certain people, or there's always been kind of this is going to be the one uh big industry shift where it's going to cause more damage than good for the whole. And if you want to go, since you're on a rabbit hole, like honestly, if you take a deep breath and take a step back, I think this is why the Fermi paradox makes sense. Um, this is why, like, we don't hear from other fucking civilizations, because something like AI fucks them. This could be, in the medium term, very fatal to humanity, because it's a really dangerous thing. It's like discovering splitting the atom again. Like this could go very dangerous very quickly. Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever heard of a YouTuber called Tom Scott?
No, I have not.
All right, well, look, he's very popular. He's got like 6 million kind of views. Look, he's British. He covers all sorts of things, tech being one of them. But one of his videos is called, I think it's Earworm, and it's about AI and the kind of possible consequences for it. Just look it up sometime. Just Earworm by Tom Scott.
I will.
It's fucking frightening. Um, but it's like it's I don't see any positive for this in the long term. You're right in the sense that a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. They'll be highly qualified in certain fields, but like so many of them are like they're so many jobs are going to be obsolete. Some of them lower wage, like call centers, and some of them not so much. this, I don't know, it's just insane, like that. This is just such unchecked, unregulated, and we're playing with fire in the long run. There's nothing. I'm trying to find a humorous angle on this, but it's frightening.
There's not one. Think about it. People have to work. You got to pay your rent. You got to pay the bills. All of a sudden, you're in a field where you went to college and you got a bachelor's degree and you're in student debt and whatnot, and all of a sudden your job's been replaced. Well, the same company that's doing what you're working at, well, they're going to be looking at doing the same thing. They're replacing people with machines. And what happens is you're going to have this influx of people that have no jobs. And they're going to have to go to work somewhere. And guess where they're coming? Exactly where the fuck we're at. And that's why your performances matter. Hero says, devil advocate, and you and Irish can discuss, do you really think your performance is more important than the lowest bidder? In some situations, I do. I really do. Because when you get into retail, me as a store manager, okay, it's, you need people to do the job and do the job well, because you got, your VPs come in, your DMs come in, you got to walk the store, how you impress them or not dictates what your career path is as well. So yeah, the performance does matter. And that's the only thing that's going to save you guys. I'm telling you right now, you have to be top tier. You have to be the best at what you do. And zero complaints, zero turbulence. You show up to work. You do what needs to be done. Sometimes you do things that you're not even told to do that need to be done. Because there are going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people very soon looking to replace you. And it's such an interesting time right now, because, I started a podcast after COVID and we talked about how retail sucks and all these other things. It's true. It's not glamorous. You're not going to get rich by it. But you're at a point now, if you've been in the trenches for a while, you need to dig your heels in, because there's people coming for your job because they have nowhere else to go. And the only way that you can justify staying at the position that you're at versus somebody who wants to come in cheaper is providing value, okay? It's just what it is. It is terrible. We are in the most bizarre fucking time to be in the retail industry, because you have to hate it because it sucks, but you better be good at it or you're going to be in a worse spot real soon. And that's really big talk coming from me, from a guy who's been doing a podcast talking about how bad the business can be. I'm saying this to you because I care, and you need to work. There's no upward mobility anymore. If you go to school and you get a bachelor's degree in something, that's great. But can a machine replace that? Because, like I said, we work in an industry that we fully well are aware of the mantra, profits over people, okay? Now, all the big jobs that we were taught you needed to go to school for, all the big jobs that were going to make you comfortable, all the big jobs that were going to allow you to have a house and 2 cars and 2.5 kids and whatnot, are replaced by a machine. And this is the most ridiculous part of all of it. If you're knee deep in retail, you're ahead of the curve. And ladies and gentlemen, that pains me greatly to have to say, but you are. So dig your heels in, do your job, be the best you can be at what you're doing. because there's going to be a whole lot of fucking people coming that'll take that job for cheaper. Irish?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of those jobs, people assume that, like, that there's transferable, like, skills, and they're always a bit transferable, I suppose. But, like, they're going to find out that retail is a lot harder than they thought it was. Just because if you're laid off in tech, that doesn't, like, segue very neatly into a retail job. Um, it's just it's going to have, like, unknown, like, effects as well, and it's going to be a fundamental change in society speaking. That the only kind of, I suppose, silver lining I can see is that, like, there's every chance that AI will just implode on the ones that created it in the first place. Like, unless someone was smart enough to put in some, like, clever kill switches along the way. But I can see AI absolutely tank, like, it could fucking blue screen Google, like, depending on how it manifests. Like, that's the thing, we don't know. It's a bit like when the whole nuclear power thing. I mean, if you remember, there was a story that came out after the Cold War was over. There was some, like, I think it was in 1983. There was almost a nuclear war because there was some fault in one of the Soviet stations that picked up that that the US had fired nukes or whatever else. And there was one guy, one human being stood in between, like,
Yes.
he had the power to, like, hit
He
the
stopped it.
retaliation switch, and he didn't do it because his, he, like, that's we're kind of on that cusp as well. Of, like, I hope there's someone like him involved in AI that has that switch and, chooses the right path. Because look, if it gets, like, I mean, if it gets to the point where, like, it lays off that many people, ah, like, it's going to have such an effect on society that, like, being good at your job in retail is only part of the fucking problem.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. You know, it, look at it like a funnel, right? So you're going to have millions of people needing employment, and they're going into this funnel, all right? And they've been laid off. And on the flip side, I feel sorry for those folks because their skills they went to school and they went into debt for no longer matter. And those people are going to be a problem to deal with anyway because they're going to feel like they were above what we're doing and they're going to get dropped into what we're doing. There's so much chaos that's coming with this shit, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, and that's the point I'm trying to make is if you're in a position where you've been there a while, you know, do the best you can do because there's people that are going to want your job. And that's the bad thing. You're going to have store managers out there that are going to look at some of these resumes and be like, oh, well, this person made big money. I can't give them that much, but they're obviously really, really good. Can you imagine the shit shows going to go on with these stores that hire people that were in high wage jobs thinking just because they had experience in college that it was going to be better at the store level? You and I and everybody here in the community knows better. They're going to fucking fail, but they're going to run people off in the process. It's just a disaster incoming. And I don't, the whole reason I wanted to do this video was just let people know if you're in the position, if you're in the trenches and you've been there a while, dig your heels in and be the best you can be because there are people coming for your jobs. I mean, they're not going to have a choice. When you look at the thousands of people that are going to lose their employment, I mean, especially when they're kind of like snooty and like I've got like this high caliber job. Look, man, attitude and ego goes a long way. And if you interview with the right store manager or wrong store manager, the disguise you put on can really cause a lot of chaos for a lot of people. You know, um, Mike Jones Jr. AI needs constant handholding to keep it from going off the rails. You are 110% correct, but I think the genie's out of the bottle, and I don't think it's there. I don't think it's there. Everything's motivated by money, man. Follow the money. Profits over people. That's where we're at. And don't think for a minute there's a bunch of companies out there that are like, oh, as soon as AI reaches a certain point, we can replace all the people. We can pay for this program, and we're all going to get it richer. Because that's exactly what the fuck's happening.
Yeah, everything has like everything has a breaking point though. Like it's like the one advantage that AI can do nothing about is that there's more of us than there are of them. Like at the end of the day, like if this has such a detrimental effect on society, then you're then it's time to start investing in guillotines again. Like it's just like shit's going to get real if like if 10, 20, 30% of people become unemployed in a short period of time. That's the shit that revolutions are made of. Like, I mean, people people will like they will not they can't afford to from a kind of society point of view. Like, you
Right.
can't afford to let a handful of people um basically take over the fucking world like Skynet style. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's just crazy that some of the science fiction shit that we used to think was fiction is becoming fucking science fact. It's scary. We're in a relatively protected industry, relatively.
We are.
Um, but I mean, like there are people out there highly intelligent, highly qualified. Like I know some of them. Like I know people that work in tech. I know a couple of graphic designers, and they're about to have I mean they're still stuck into mortgages, and they've got families and everything else, and the outlook is bleak if you're involved in like that sort of industry, and I don't think they can do much about it because I think it's AI is going to do a lot of damage before it's taken down, if it ever is taken down. Um,
Yeah.
but fuck, man, it's
It's fucked up. I mean, and everybody, if you see me looking weird, I've got a cat in my lap, and she is like whipping my ass right now. But anyway, so Mike Jones Jr. said, yeah, a lot of these office jobs are not necessary, and automation is exposing that. That is correct. That is 100% correct. And to your point, Irish. I mean, you're right. I mean, the way I see it is, these people have went to school. They've paid their money. They've paid their dues, and they've gotten to these positions where they've got great jobs. Their life's comfortable. I'm not saying they're rich, mind you, but maybe they got a
well,
decent sized house. Maybe they got a 2 car garage. Maybe they got 2 cars. Everybody's comfortable. But what's going to happen is the rug's going to get pulled out from underneath them. And there's this big funnel, like I said, that goes into physical labor and retail and construction and whatnot that they're going to fall into. They're going to come into it with an attitude and an arrogance that, is going to cause conflict anyway. And I guess the big thing is, I don't understand how we're here right now because, it, ladies and gentlemen, think about this for a minute. We are in the positions in retail that are going to wind up being the most desirable job. That's the problem. We went
well,
backwards.
we're certainly not going forwards. But if I'm trying to kind of just draw some sort of parallel here, but like we all remember, because it's not that long ago, the calamity that was the the financial crisis, the credit crunch, whatever you want to call it. So you go back like 2007, 2008, and remember the phrase of the time, "too big to fail," right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I think that this is similar. It's not a direct comparison, but in the sense that Lehman Brothers went to the wall. That went to shit, and that shook the kind of financial institutions around Wall Street. But
Right.
then they realized, shit, if this house of cards takes out Lehman Brothers, then Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they're all coming. If they all fail, we're fucked. The economy tanks, the dollar collapses, all this sort of stuff. It just have so many knock-on effects. This is similar in the sense that there will be some kind of Lehman Brothers shock when that will be the wake-up call. Going, holy shit, we can't have the economy tank. There's no point of 10 people controlling the fucking economy. There won't be an economy.
Well,
People have to work.
I understand
Um,
that, but I don't think the economy is going to fail. What's happened is technology has given them a way to make sure that the economy is foolproof. And the problem is the byproduct of that is people losing jobs.
Yeah, well, and if enough people lose jobs, it takes money out of the economy, and like money needs to circulate. If people don't have money, then fuck all happens. And if that happens at a big enough scale, then like the economy itself will be at risk. And this is at the end stage of like what AI can do. But like there's going to be a couple of shocks around the way, like that various companies. You might even find at some point in the near future there could be the first ever AI company that there's no employees. They just produce God knows what.
That's coming.
That'll happen, and that will shake up some little industry, and then others will try and copy that, and eventually there'll be a breaking point somewhere where something just some industry kind of now look over when this happens gradually. There's time to adjust. I mean, I know, like, take farming, for example. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I don't have the stats in front of me, but it was something like 1 in 4 people in Ireland in the 70s were involved in farming in some respect. It's down to like almost nothing now. It's like 3% now, where everything is automated. It's big enough companies, but everything still works fine. And over the last 40 or 50 years, people have gradually gone on to different jobs.
Yeah, but that's
You
40 or
can't you
50
can't do that in
years.
5 years.
Yeah.
You know.
That's 40 to 50 years. The time frame here is going to be way too soon.
Yeah, you're looking at less than a decade.
Right.
It's
I mean, you're looking at less than 7 years, to be honest with you. And that's the thing. I mean, you know, it's hard looking at it. All right, so let's look at the things I enjoy. I'm a video gamer. All right, so I play video games all the time. The impact of AI is, if you follow the news, is not good. You know, and then I'm a musician. Go to YouTube and just Google, hey, I want to hear Johnny Cash sing Baby Got Back. It's there. That's where we're at right now. So if it's so easy to get a hold of the entertainment part of it for the average consumer, man, it's so much easier to get rid of employees. And there's going to be a conflict at some point in time where you have this influx of people looking for jobs shouting at the top of their lungs saying, well, I went to college and I got this and blah, blah, blah. And all of us know, studies have shown in retail and in grocery and in like restaurant business, the people that thrive the most are grassroots people. They started on the ground many years ago. They developed their skills and they're better. But the thing I look at is, that I think is most important, is when you have so many people looking for a job in our line of business, it stagnates wages. Wages go down because you could pick and choose. And That's the fear. And that's why I said your performance and what you do and what you offer to the company and what you offer to the building. I know this is very antithesis of things I've said in the past, but I'm saying this to protect you all because there's going to come a point in time where there's thousands of people applying for your job. Be the best at what you can be, period. Now, if you're the best at what you can be and you feel like you've done that and you can look in the mirror and say, I've done everything I could do, if you get replaced, no shame. Go find something else. But do not, absolutely do not get lazy because these people who are in high paying jobs very shortly will be coming for yours. Deal with it as you should. Irish?
Yeah, it's pretty bleak. I don't know where to I'm not sure what to segue from that. Like it's like the whole thing with AI, it like we can't control what's going to happen, but it's it just I cannot see any because it's of the way it'll be designed and who controls it. It's not going to be for the benefit of humanity because look, if they wanted to, they could make AI cure hunger and a whole bunch of other shit. That's not what they're going to do.
Nope.
It's just it's going to be an absolute unmitigated calamity for a finish. I don't know what the timeline is, but it's not going to end well. There's just almost no scenario I can think of where AI overall was going to be beneficial for humanity. And mostly because of uh, the the the, the creators behind it, or the kind of the influences they had, like these. I mean, it's almost carnivorous, like or not carnivorous, but
It really is.
cannibalistic, like to have like tech people design things to put themselves out of work.
And that's what's happened. That's what's been going on for
Crazy.
years. That's the saddest part is people have designed their replacements.
Yeah, like I mean, like what other industry? Like I mean, like it's insane. Like I mean, very every other kind of big shakeup of industries has come with benefits. Like I mean, there was benefits to automation. There was there was benefits to the internet when it began, and
Yep.
there was benefits of it. But like Jesus, like there's very little benefit to it. Like AI at the moment for most people is a novelty. You ask AI some stupid question or you get it to create a song like you did. It's a novelty. It's a gimmick. But
Right.
like behind that, like the ability to do all that is just the ability to completely fuck people out of a job.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, maybe some jobs can be automated and would be better if they were. But you still have people at the end of the day. And the one thing that computers will never have is emotions. Like
That's
when,
true, but that's what
people,
employers are wanting.
yeah, it's at the end of the day, like, it's just for retail, we're somewhat sheltered. We're not going to be the first wave, but like it's it's just kind of a bleak enough outlook, for humanity in the medium term. I don't really know what timeline to put on it, like, but Christ, it needs to something needs to be put in place to ring fence, the
Yeah.
kind of I I don't know.
Well,
It's fucking bleak.
so I'm going to end on this. Hero says if they really cared about people, you'd get legislation ahead of it to prevent massive layoffs. But that's the problem. They don't care about people. Our entire podcast from the day we started, it's about profits over people. And now we're seeing it. Big Quit Energy jumped in. He said, I would be all about AI taking our jobs if we could all share the benefit in the form of UBI. which is universal basic income. But in our system, all the value it creates will be captured by a few. The rest of it are left out to dry. There will be no UBI in the United States. It's never going to happen. It's a pipe dream. Good luck. And once again, we're sitting at an hour and 1. And I'm going to leave you with this. It's great to be back with all you guys. It's been a minute. I've missed it. We got some cool stuff coming up. But if you're in the business, and unless you have a legitimate, high-paying out, be the best you can be. Don't be lazy. Do the best you can. Because there's going to be thousands and thousands of people coming for your jobs. You have families, you have kids, you have things you have to pay for. Now is not the time in the industry that we're in to air grievances and talk about how things suck so bad. Because guess what? Your replacements are thousands long in line. So just do the best you can do. Clock out and go home. Don't take it home with you. Make your money. Impress people. Do what you can. I'm not saying be perfect. None of us are. But show your worth. Because you need it now more than you ever will. Irish, your closing thoughts?
Oh, I need to think about what to fucking do in the medium term. I don't know. Christ almighty. We'll have to touch on this again in a few months when we know more. But yeah, and hopefully it won't be as bleak and dark in the next episode. We'll try and keep people a little bit happier.
I hope so, but I don't think it will be. That's why this is the warning. Do the best you can, man. You need the money in your pocket. Do what you can.
Right.
So, having said it, everybody, have a great night. It's great seeing all of you here tonight. The audio will go up probably sometime tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Also, too, I want to throw out there, we're wanting to do once a month, like a mailbag thing where there's questions, comments, concerns, or whatnot. I posted it on Substack. But, you know, if you go to our link tree, our email address is there. If you have questions, comments, or things you want to talk about, please send it there. And we are going to have like one episode a month where we take your feedback, your questions, your comments, and that's what we're going to do. So that's coming. Having said that, everybody have a great night, and we will see you next time.